Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today hopefully it's going to be a quick card. These are good cards to batch make. I'm going to be using a card base which is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 inches. I'll be using inches today. And I've got 3 different types of card. So what I've first got to do is cut out one each of these papers. And each one of them is going to be 4 inches by 2 inches. So I'm going to get that cut. Right, that's my 3 papers cut 2 by 4 inches. So what I'm going to do now is, like I've done to this one, what I'm going to do is fold them in half, long ways, like that. You could scroll down the middle if you want. I'm just going to fold them in half. Like that. Same with all of them. Make sure your pattern's running the right way if you've got a pattern paper, like this one. So on this one, like my trees are facing like the long way, if you know what I mean. Because if they were the other way, they'd be the wrong way when they go on the card. So there we go, that's all those folded. Now I need my paper trimmer. You can do this by hand, you don't need a paper trimmer, but I'm going to use my paper trimmer. So I'll just get that. Right, now all I'm going to do is keep them folded in half, put them in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut from corner to corner like this on an angle, like put the card on an angle. So get that in position, hold it down, and then I'm just going to cut up through. And I'm going to do that with all of them. I usually keep the folded end this end. I don't think it makes any difference, but it's just something I always do. And then the glitter. That one moved, but it's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect anyway. Right, so now I'll open them out and I think you can see what they're going to be. They're going to be trees. So this is my 3 trees. All I need now is some trunks. You don't have to put trunks on, you can just have them like that. But I'm going to make some trunks. So I'm going to be using a die. You don't have to, you can just cut them any size, just so they look okay, coming out from under there. So I'm going to use this die here. It's just a little rectangle die. So I'm going to match the papers. I don't know if will this fit? Oh yeah, I use these bits that have been cut off, the scraps, just to cut out one of these each on each pattern. So we'll get that done. And there we go. That's all 3 done. I say all I've done is use the scraps that came off where I cut the triangles. And you've also got another 3. So this is why it's really good for batch making. And these trunks, I'm going to cut them in half. So this will make 6. So like I say, I'm going to be cutting these in half. So I'm just going to put all 3 of them together. And chop them in half. Right, so I only need 3, so I'll put those to the side. So I can use them on another one. Right, so I need my glue. And all I'm going to do now, make sure the pattern's the right way. Just realised that's not quite a triangle there, but never mind. You know what I mean? It's got a bit of an edge on it. So what I'm going to do now is, like I say, stick the trunks on. You can mix and match if you want. I'm just going to match them up to the colours that I've already used. So gold on gold, pattern on pattern, and glitter on glitter. And I do try and make them even. Better if I put this one down actually. Yeah, that's about right. Make sure it's straight. I'm going to leave these to dry a little bit because, especially with the gold and the glitter card, it takes a while to stick properly and I don't want them moving. So I'll just do this one here. Next thing I've done is I've cut out 3 stars. I mean, you can buy stars in the shop if you haven't got any dies or a die cutting machine, just buy stars. But I'm going to put stars on top of my trees, so I've cut out 3. One's bigger than the other. They can be all the same size, it doesn't matter. It's just the way I cut them and decided to do it. So I'll put those to the side. So yeah, just decide which way you want them around. I'm thinking like that because they're going to go in a row. So with the middle one, I'll put those back, make sure they are sticking properly before I fiddle around too much. You're going to need some foam pads. So I've just got these little foam pads. Stick them on here. So those are on there. So that's going to be my middle tree. Right, I'm going to stick the outside trees on my card base first. I'm not using any matting layers, nothing. Like I say, these are ideal for batch making for Christmas. You can just sit and cut out so many different papers, make so many trees, and then the little trunks, and then stick them all together. Right, that one's going to go about there. This one's going to go the other side at the same level. So we'll get that one down there. Try and get the same distance from the edge as the other one. Like that. And then this one here, I'm going to take off the backs of the foam pads. Get my pokey tool. Just because the glue, oh, I've done that one. The glue's not quite dry yet. And I always like to use a bit of glue on my foam pads. Right, so that's all of those off. And this one here is going to go in the middle. But I'm going to do it slightly down from the other two. So it's going to go in like that. Just so it looks like it's more forward than the other two. When, say like a forest, this is how it would look. It would look, or would be more forward, but this would make it look like it's more forward. So just slightly down like that. Right, now I've got the stars. I'm going to use the big one on that one, and then the 2 smaller ones on those because they're back in the background slightly. So these 2 are going to go flat, the ones at the back. You can match your stars up to the trees if you want. I've just picked any random ones that I had. Mind you, I haven't used that cardstock on the card, so I might change that one. We just change that one for a plain one or a glitter one. That's plain, yeah. Yeah, that one was a bit more like iridescent, so. one on there. And then this one here, I'm going to put a foam pad on the back so it's standing up the same as that. And then stick it on there. There, how cute are they? Now we need a sentiment. So what I've done, I just sit there and what I've done with these is I've stamped them and heat embossed these. But you can print them off from your printer, just stamp them, whatever colour you want. So today I'm going to be using a gold one. I've used a die to cut these out with a little stitching on the edge. But like I say, you just cut them by hand, print them off on your printer. So I'm going to be using this one. So I'm going to put this on foam pads too. And then I'm going to stick that down there underneath. So I'm going to just make sure there's an even border or an even gap between the tree, bottom of the trunk there and the bottom of the card, and then even to each side of the card. Just going to do it by eye, it doesn't have to be exact. And make sure it's straight. Yeah, I think that's straight. Yeah, that looks fine. So there's the sentiment. Nice Merry Christmas. Now you could leave it like that, or what I usually do is stick some gems on. Now I'm not sure whether to use green. I'm not going to be putting them on the middle one. I'm just going to be putting them on the outside ones. Just make sure that's stuck. So I've got the gold. Do I keep it gold or do I do the green? I might do the green. They're going to stand out more, aren't they? Just for a change. Yeah, let's go green. Let's go for it. Be a little bit more adventurous. Right, so all I do is do 1, 2, oh, it was a bit too much, 3, and then I go in between, 1 there, and then 1 down the bottom there. So I'm going to use the dark green. Do I use the dark green or the lighter green? I'm going to go dark. It's a bit more Christmassy. Just going to take these off a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I've got 6 there, but never mind. I'm going to use them on the other side anyway. Stick 1 on there. Not playing today. It's because it's sticky on the back. Even though they're sticky, I still use glue. Stops the glue on the back of the gems drying out and falling off. If you've got a bit of glue underneath it, just to make sure they stay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 5 on each. Just 1 down there in that corner bit. So that's that. Let me just wipe that piece of glue off there. Dab it off. There, just before it dries. And I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to do the opposite. So on the outside again, maybe you can see. Try and sort of get them sort of level. 1, 2, 3, and then in the middle this side, the 2 down there, like that. And then just get them stuck on. Oh, I like the green actually. Right, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 3 more on the card. So 1 there, 1 there, and then 1 about there. So there's my finished card. And how easy is that? I mean, you could just sit there in front of the TV, cut a load of trees out, load of trunks, print off some sentiments, and you'd have a load of cards ready for Christmas. So I'm just going to show you some of the colours. This one here is a rose gold. So this is another rose gold one, but just different pattern papers. Got a silver one with a nice little pattern paper in the middle. This one's all gold. I've used all gold on the trees too. That just shows you how different you can make them look. And then I've got one here that's all pattern papers, and I haven't stuck any gems on this time because it's all patterned. I thought I'd just leave them as it is, and then I've just put some gems around the outside. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd love it if you could give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, push the little notification bell that will notify you when I post future videos. The next one is going to be a similar card to this, but it's going to be using baubles. So push the little notification bell, and hopefully then you'll get notified when I post that one, because that's another one that's good to batch make. So thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next time. See you later. Bye.